course, this time of year on TV or on streaming, we have all those classic animated Christmas specials, like the cartoons, like The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, or Charlie Brown's Christmas, always a popular one, and plus those stop animation things, whatever they call them, like Santa Claus is Coming to Town, or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and all of those have their own unique characters. You know, like in Rudolph, of course, besides the deer himself, we have, of course, Hermie, the elf who wants to become a dentist. Like, where did they come up with this? And Yukon Cornelius, and, of course, then there's the Island of Misfit Toys. The Island of Misfit Toys, so like the train whose caboose has square wheels, or the water pistol that shoots jelly, the bird that can't fly but swims, the cowboy that rides an ostrich, and then the sentry, the guard of the Island of Misfit Toys, is the Jack-in-the-Box, whose name is Charlie. No one wants to play with a Charlie in the box. So all of them sort of define themselves by something they feel is wrong with them, what is misfit for who they really kind of believe they were meant to be. But yet all of them have this desire to not stay there on the island, but they want to be with the big guy, with Santa, and to truly live out that purpose for which they were made. You know, to go to a home of some boy or girl at Christmas. I think we too sometimes have this temptation to define ourselves by what we're not, or maybe what we think is wrong with us. You know, maybe we have this experience where we're just sort of mired in shame, or mired in fear, or maybe we're caught up in a rejection, or maybe we're caught up in a failure. Maybe we're weighed down by heartbreak, or just all the life just bearing down on us. Maybe we're mistreated by others, like at school, and then we start to believe the lies that we hear people tell us. Or maybe we look on social media and see how people present themselves, and we just, in comparison, we feel less than. All these misfits with who we know deep down that we are or should be as children of God. And like those misfit toys, we hopefully have a sense that we're made for something else, besides all those things that can keep us sort of exiled, so to speak, and are off on some distant island in our life. That we're made to be with the big guy, with the Lord who made us, and who made us for a purpose. That feeling deep down that our life is meant for more, for meaning, for purpose in our life. And what's our life for? Why do we exist? Well, classically, to know, love, serve God, and to live with Him forever in the next life. That we're made for this intimate communion with God living in and through us, and us living in the Lord. To the God who already sees and knows and loves us and has made us for eternal glory. And it's through the one whose birth that we're about to celebrate that we know that the Lord has drawn close to us and entered into our life to come in and to bridge the gap and to end our separation from God and bring us back to that wholeness that we're all longing for somehow. This Jesus who would grow up, and at the beginning of his ministry, one day appeared in his hometown, and on the Sabbath went to the synagogue and was handed the scroll from the prophet Isaiah, and he turned to that part that we just heard earlier. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and He has anointed me, and He has sent me out to proclaim glad tidings, good news to the poor, to the lowly, to heal the brokenhearted, to bring liberty to captives and release to those in prison, to announce a year of favor from the Lord, a jubilee time, a time of restoration, a time to be freed from bondage and from debt. This Jesus then who said, all this is fulfilled in your hearing, is fulfilled in me. Now we know, of course, that we have the Lord in our life, and we just know our relationship with God, that we're not ever going to be free from trials, from sufferings, from difficulties. We know that the one who conquered even death is with us to transform those experiences and to bring us to life in the midst of them, all despite the circumstances that sometimes we just find ourselves in. We know that the same Jesus is with us in the Eucharist. So as we encounter Christ here in the Mass today, let us turn in a new way to the one who has always turned towards us, who comes to meet us, who is the one who came to wrap us in a robe of salvation and clothe us in a mantle of justice. This is the good news that John proclaimed. This is the light that he gave testimony to, that the lowly and the downtrodden, the outcast and humble, that for them, for us, hope is never lost on us because of the one who draws ever near to us to bring us to life, the one who has conquered sin and death and everything in our life that misfits.